It's been a while since I last uploaded anything face-to-face like this. And as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail of today's video, in this video we're going to be talking about Fixed, which is a new Netflix movie that came out on Netflix in the UK yesterday. And it follows the story of a dog called Bull who finds out that he's going to get neutered. I think that's how you pronounce it. I could be wrong, but it's when, when dogs get the snip. And basically he spends the next 24 hours on one last balls to the wall adventure with his friends. And he also, has the plan to confess his love to his next door neighbour's dog, Honey, who he has known since he was a puppy. And look, this movie was just mental. It was a wild ride from start to finish. And, I wouldn't recommend this to just anyone. I think this is a movie that you watch when you're with a group of friends, you're all stupidly high, and you've already grown an enjoyment towards movies and shows like Sausage Party, American Dad, Family Guy. If you like adult animation, if you like raunchy stuff, you will probably like this movie, right? Me personally, I kind of enjoyed it. I don't think it was absolutely amazing, but I also do not think it is the worst adult animation production that I've ever seen. So in this video, we're going to be covering the movie and basically giving my thoughts and opinions on it, giving my little review as always. I'm going to be talking about what I do like, what I don't like. And in the midst of that, obviously, I'm going to be talking about what I think could be improved and added onto it. And then at the end, I'm just going to talk about whether or not I would recommend it. And if so, who would I recommend it to? Which I've already sort of covered, right? So what is Fixed? Well, Fixed, like I said, is an adult animation raunchy movie, and it features two pretty cool actors, well, voice actors that I like, and that is Idris Elba, and I have no clue how they got Idris Elba to agree to be on this movie, but he voices Rocco, who's like this, this big, burly, masculine, wise, almost stoic dog, and, he's quite a cool character. I quite liked him. And then they have Adam Devine voicing Bull, who is the main character. And little fun fact, Adam Devine also voiced Pizza Steve in Uncle Grandpa. If any of you watched that when you were a kid, which I did. I'm 19, I'm 20 in like 2-3 months. So I grew up watching Uncle Grandpa, do you get me? I grew up on Cartoon Network. I used to love all that stuff. But anyway, it follows the story of a dog called Bull, who, like I said, finds out that he's going to be neutered by his owners in the next 24 hours because he's a really horny, troublesome dog, as a lot of young male dogs are. He tries to hump everything. He's always making a mess. He's really wild, really erratic, really energetic, stuff like that. And he's causing problems for his owners. So what do they decide to do? Give him the snip. So once he finds this out and goes through a little, I suppose you could say a traumatic experience, it's a very traumatic moment for him, and he starts freaking out. After this, he decides with his friends that he's going to have, like I said, one last balls to the wall adventure, and they go out, they do a bunch of mad shit, they interrupt the dog show, and in the end, we see him confess his love to Honey, Honey confesses her love back, and, it's kind of, I suppose, a cute moment in a movie that has been nothing but like weird and wild throughout the whole thing. So I appreciate the ending. And to get into this, I mean, what do I even like about this movie? First of all, I like the animation. I think the animation is pretty well done. I like the characters too. They're quite funny. They're quite entertaining. I like Bull. I like Rocco. I like Fetch. I like Honey. That is pretty much it. I'm not a big fan of Sterling, but I don't think he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be a bit of a twatty, I'm better than everyone type kind of dog. I didn't really like him, but you're not supposed to like characters like that, I think. And obviously he gets neutered in the end too, so that's always a fun little moment. And the ending scene when he's like about to mount Honey and Bull gets in the way, and Bull is like confessing his love to Honey to an extent, while just getting absolutely like pummeled by Sterling. Like, this was a weird movie. This was a very weird. There's no way I can sugarcoat this. It is a weird fucking movie. So that's what I mean when I say, like, this is the kind of movie you watch when you're high as fuck with your mates. Maybe on your own if you want to, I don't know. But it's, it's kind of like Sausage Party. I think that's the only, like, movie I can successfully and authentically compare it to is Sausage Party. And that was to the point where, like, after I watched this movie, I immediately went online to look at if Seth MacFarlane or Seth Rogen were involved in it. Because I saw this movie and I thought, look, one of these two people, if not both of them, were definitely involved in the production and the making of this movie. And they weren't. Neither of them. Which really surprised me, because like I said, I thought this whole thing was like a Family Guy, Sausage Party-esque kind of movie. That's what it reminded me of. But yeah, I like the characters. I think it's quite funny. I like the animation. As to what I dislike, because that's pretty much what I do like about the movie, is just the comedy, the characters, and the animation. What I don't like, well, like I've already said, it's a bit of a weird movie. It's basically just about dogs fucking and going wild and doing mad, dumb shit. So the plot line is not that great, you know, the plot line is really not, like, you do not watch this movie for the story, like, at all. I don't think there is anything positive about this story, the plot line of this movie that I can say, other than just the characters were pretty fucking funny whilst they were going through it. And I think, like, you know, that is pretty much it. You know, the story wasn't that great, but the characters were good. It was kind of comedic. It's not a movie that you would nominate to win awards, and it is nowhere near, like, the greatest adult animation I've ever seen. I would probably give that title to Paradise PD, if I'm honest with you. Don't come at me in the comments. I know a lot of you guys don't like that fucking show. But yeah, I mean, it was funny. It was entertaining. It had decent characters. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I got a new Death Note poster. I just wanted to point that out because that poster's fucking sick. And as you guys know, I'm a big fan of Death Note. Not so much the anime, but love the manga. Anyways, good, entertaining, funny characters, decent animation, weird-ass plotline, weird storyline. But, you know, it's funny, it's goofy, it's wacky, it's weird, it's out there. If you like adult raunchy animation, I would recommend this movie. I suppose, you know, I think you should go check it out once. If you're not a fan of adult raunchy animation, do not watch this movie because you're not going to enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, then I don't know how to make this to you. You like adult animation. So all of that being said, I think that's pretty much it. I appreciate everyone who clocked in to watch this video. If you haven't seen a movie, like I said, go watch it. If you're into raunchy adult animation, if you're not, give it a skip, give it a miss. But either way, hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. I'm the Geeked Out Gaijin, and I'm signing out.